Welcome back to the show that I still haven't figured out a name for, guys. I'm sorry. I'm still working on it. It's not going to be strictly business. I've been batting around this idea with Jason. Certified lunacy? I don't know. Tell me what you guys think about that. I think it's cool. But we're here with...
My name is Alexander James Taylor, but you can call me AJ.
AJ. And AJ and I work together in a restaurant. You were my manager.
Yep.
And you're in town for the weekend, so we figured we'd shoot a quick episode.
Yeah.
You said you had a couple things you wanted to plug, you wanted to talk about?
Yes.
Let's hear it.
So I started an indie movie in New York. It's called 27. Yeah, it just got done, so should be coming to festivals near you soon.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah.
Do you want to give them like a little...
Totally, yeah. It's a indie neo-noir movie about... it takes place in the East Village. It's about...
What is neo-noir?
So think like a little bit of like the movie Drive, but also like a little bit of like Outsiders and like a little bit like Sid and Nancy. I don't know. It's got a punk rock element to it, and it's really about like identity and
Great.
Struggling with that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, where can I find it?
Right now, it's because it's still being sold. You can't find it like officially anywhere, especially because it's going through festival circuits. But if you follow it, the Instagram account 27 spelt out VPNY, you'll see all the trailers and any news about it.
Great.
Yeah.
As I said before, we met working in a restaurant, and you've been working in restaurants for how many years?
My first restaurant job was in like a Subway clone when I was like 15.
So it's been a
half
while.
my life, yeah.
Yeah. And I bet you've had your fair share of horror stories. I've had people come on in the past, talk about like allergy issues or getting hit on by customers. Do you have any particular stories that you might find interesting to the audience?
I mean, I've experienced, I think, every like terrible restaurant story that you can have in terms of like people being assholes, like famous people horror stories, things like that. But the craziest thing that I ever had happen was on a busy Sunday brunch, and a woman has a stroke, and she like goes gray, and she's like slumping over in my section, and I'm like, we have a line at the door, like packed restaurant, and this woman is like hunched over, turning gray, and her friend is like now reaching over the table, trying to like scoop the food out of her mouth so that she doesn't choke on it and die while she has this stroke in this restaurant. And the entire time, we have paramedics come, we call 911, and we're still serving lunch. Like, food is still coming out of the kitchen.
That's insane. Are you still seating people too?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And this woman is like, sees all this happening, and then is like asking us like, when are they gonna be done? Like, I want that table. I want that booth. Like, she's been waiting. Like, she was one of those people who put her name on the wait list for a booth specifically. Like, not just for a table, but for the booth. And this was the next booth to come up, and a woman's dying in it.
Okay, so you were waiting on tables, and one of your customers starts having a stroke, literally choking on her food. There's paramedics in the building.
Yeah, she is gray. I'm watching the life leave her. Yeah.
A different woman who's waiting for a booth is like...
It's like, is she done yet?
She might be done with life.
Like exactly. Like, it might be her last brunch ever.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Wait, so... Oh my God. I mean, what's like the timeline
story.
like on this? So she starts having the stroke. Like, how long does it take for her friend to realize? Like,
I mean, her friend realized like right away.
And she tells you.
But none of us noticed right away. Like, all of us are like,
she just doesn't tell anybody?
We're hustling. We're like, we're
you're working in a restaurant.
Yeah, we're pre-bussing. We're like counting our tips, And then this woman's like, sir, as she's like hands on her friend's face. I look over. I'm like, oh shit.
At least you and probably several other people drop everything.
Oh, yeah.
Paramedics come.
Absolutely.
Do you know what ended up happening to this poor woman?
I mean, I know that she survived.
Nice.
I know that she did survive because the color came back to her. She was talking. She was lucid again. Paramedics were there.
It was like a seizure then, maybe?
I don't know. To be honest, I can't. I thought it was a stroke.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not a physician.
Doctor,
I'm not a doctor. I couldn't tell you what it was. Yeah.
So did the woman end up getting the booth, like the really bitchy woman?
Oh yeah.
That booth
That woman was like almost dead in.
That's so interesting because I feel like for me, like if I was waiting in a restaurant like that, it would kind of be like if I was buying a house and someone died in the house previously.
Right.
Like I would want not that booth.
Yeah.
Like
no,
that would be like my
exactly.
last choice. So like the fact that she like was down for it, I guess it's kind of a good sport, but also
I don't know. Maybe she thought like, well, she survived. So
good luck booth.
It's a good luck booth. Yeah, this is not a death booth. This is a life booth.
Yeah, you can have a fucking stroke and still have. I wonder what kind of Yelp review both of those women left.
This woman would just not die, and I was waiting forever for a table, and they just like could not get her up. Like,
that's crazy. One thing I like to do when I have guests on, I'll do a game. I like organize a couple games, and usually it's related to that guest. I was inspired by the fact that I know that you like nature, you like hiking, you literally moved to Yosemite to like work, but also be submerged in nature. So, do you know much about bird species?
More than the average person, I would think.
They have some crazy fucking names.
Oh, yeah.
Like, whoever's naming birds is actually insane and kind of horny.
I would agree with both, yeah.
Yeah. I have this game for you. Bird name or Pornhub category? Hot-breasted MILF.
That's Cornhub. That's Cornhub.
Nope. It's a
No?
bird species. Yep.
What?
Yeah, it's like a black bird with like a red front.
My God.
MILF?
MILF?
Like, that's... What are you
MILF?
thinking? MILF is crazy.
MILF is crazy.
Insane.
What? Okay.
Great tits.
That's got to be a bird.
It's a bird.
That's
Yeah,
gotta
it's
be,
a bird.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Actually, there's several different tit species all
Correct.
throughout Europe and America. So
Yes,
that's
there are
pretty
many tit birds.
cool. Yeah, well, there's also many tits too. Amateur redhead.
Cornhub?
Yeah,
Okay,
Cornhub.
thank God.
Yeah,
Thank
can you
God.
imagine? Amateur is
Amateur in a bird name? How can a bird be an amateur?
European shag.
Bird?
Bird. Yep.
Bird.
There's actually
Bird.
a bunch of different kind of shags. They're similar to like cormorants.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Big white cock.
Bird?
Cornhub.
Cornhub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like a bird though.
I mean,
I specifically chose Cornhub names that like might be birds.
might sound like birds.
Yeah.
Well, cocks are birds.
Brown booby.
Bird.
Bird. Yeah. Also lots of booby birds.
A lot of booby
Tons
birds.
of booby birds.
It kind of makes sense. We name a lot of things after tits and boobs.
Yeah. Fair enough, honestly. And like if you're studying birds all day, you're probably getting no play.
Fair.
So
That's also true. You're like horny as fuck out there in the woods, just like staring through your giant ass like photo lens or
yeah.
whatever.
Like I can't think of anything less sexy actually than birds.
No, yeah.
So like that's probably all they're thinking about when they're not studying
They're
birds.
little like feathery dinosaurs. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing hot about that.
No.
No.
And then last one, young swinger.
Cornhub.
Cornhub. Yeah,
Cornhub.
you did pretty good.
Cornhub.
Yeah,
All right,
the only one you
cool.
got wrong was the hot-breasted MILF.
I was gonna say,
Which is
yeah.
insane how that's a bird
Which
category.
wild one? I was
Yeah.
never gonna get that right.
That said, though, I feel like a lot of these bird species probably are also categories on Cornhub.
Yeah,
Like, there's no way
exactly.
there isn't a video called hot-breasted MILF.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
out there. But do you think it's bird related?
Guys, comment down below. Look up the videos and let me know, like,
We need you to do some bird watching.
yes. IPAs taste like old people. I'm gonna be so honest, dude. IPAs are fucking gross. They taste like stale.
No, they don't. They taste like hops.
Like, I grind through a single can of IPA and I feel like I've aged significantly.
IPAs can taste like so many different things. They can taste like citrusy. They can taste hoppy. They can taste like juicy. Like
But it's always just that, like, heavy flavor. Like, that, like,
that hops. That's what you're talking about, right?
Hops?
The hops is the bitterness that you kind of taste.
Yes.
Yeah. It's hops.
it's horrible.
Hops is like that's like so. Do you know why they put hops in beer at all?
Why?
It's because they had to transport it all the way like across oceans and shit like that. And hops are a natural preservative, and so they used to load up beer with the hops when they would be sending it from like England to India.
Yeah.
And that's why it's called an Indian Pale Ale.
But now we have refrigeration techniques, so we don't have to do that. I'm gonna be so honest, like, okay, I hear you, like, okay, maybe it's part of the beer making process, but for me, part of the beer drinking process is it being light and it being smooth, and that is the opposite, dude. Like, I'll drink like 2 IPAs, it's like I ate a fucking meal.
Why don't you just drink a fucking White Claw then?
I would love to, but sometimes people just buy IPAs and that's all they have.
I will say that like it is a dirty move to show up to a party with a 6-pack or a 12-pack of IPAs and be like, I brought beer for the party.
Because it is such an acquired taste.
And let's be real, this is what I had, this is what I wanted to eat. I'm gonna be taking the leftovers home.
Yeah. Well, and it's such a high ABV too.
That's
like,
also true.
Dude, 9% beer. Like, drink wine, you fucking weirdo. Like, what
Have you ever done a cake stand of an IPA?
illegal.
It's
That
awful.
sounds horrible.
It's awful. It's so bad. You're like, why am I doing this to myself?
Well, that's actually a good point because I think for me, integral to the beer experience is chugging.
It is chugging.
Like, I don't sip a Bud Light.
No. You're drinking like 3 go.
Yeah.
Go.
Minimum. But I guess just in general, when I'm drinking, I'm just trying to get it down.
No, I get that.
And
but
IPAs force you to slow down.
no, yeah, it's like careful, bitch.
Yeah. Well, and it's just
a
a strong flavor. Like I feel like
Totally.
even you as an IPA drinker, like you wouldn't want to slam an IPA. Like
I would not want to chug an IPA, but similarly, I will drink it in like 3 gulps. I like it.
that's crazy. That's crazy to me. We're in our 20s. Why are my hangovers getting worse?
I just think that it's like you turn 20, 22, 23, like you just get right over that hump, and you're what they, I think, call in the medical community like old and washed.
You just unk.
Yeah.
I hear you, but it's like, okay, theoretically speaking, like let's say we're like professional athletes. We're in the prime. You know, I'm 23. I'm not even at my physical prime yet, theoretically, right?
That's
like LeBron James is jumping the highest at 25, probably, right? So why is it that my hangovers are already getting worse? Like that doesn't make sense to me if I'm in my physical prime.
I mean, I suppose it does make sense. Like you should be able to like process things better if your body is at its like
Right?
peak. But like, what is the age of your alcohol intake system? I don't know.
Well, I have a couple conflicting theories. Either we're just drinking more. Like more alcohol, like by volume.
Fair.
Because when I think about like back in high school, I'd have like 4 shots and like take my pants off. Like I'd be crazy.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I'd be running, you know, like so hammered. Literally like 4 shots, like slumped.
Yeah.
But now it's like 4 shots is the pregame maybe if I'm taking it light. You know what I mean?
It's like, let's get out the door.
Yeah. And I'm like, if I'm only having 4 shots at the pregame, I'm definitely bringing shooters to the bar. 'Cause I'm not going to buy 4 more drinks at the bar. Like
Absolutely not. That's like $60.
at least
At
in
least.
LA.
In LA, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think maybe I'm drinking more. Or my other theory is, has my liver just been like completely destroyed?
Oh, you think you like...
Like maybe like, yeah, my body is 23, but maybe my liver's like 40.
It's like the athlete getting like early arthritis in their joints because they just like fucked up their knees too
Yeah.
many times or something like
It's
that.
like how Kobe retired at like his mid-30s because he just played so physical
Yeah.
at such a young age.
Todd Gurley, he was like 26, he got arthritis in his knees. Yeah.
It's just because your body falls apart.
Yeah.
And like, not gonna lie, like the American college system
it's
is
puts it through the
not
ringer.
friendly on the liver. Like
So,
it
you,
is
so you're telling me you have like liver CTE?
type shit though. Like, look, I mean, that's my other theory, or maybe it's both, right? Because it's
I can
weird.
see it.
Like
I
it
can see
doesn't
it.
really make sense.
Well, and I think about it too that like they tell you like, oh, drink lots of water. When I was 21, I never drank water.
Yeah, I wouldn't drink water. I would
never
drink
looked at water.
strictly on an empty stomach.
Yeah,
Strictly
on an empty
Yeah.
stomach, and like maybe there would be like some pizza late at night to try and like combat it.
And that's not helping anything. Like, you're going to combat your nausea with pizza?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that is counterproductive.
And then I would wake up at like 7 a.m. feeling fine, and
Yeah,
then be
and
like,
drink again.
and drink again.
Yeah.
Be like, let's keep going. Yeah.
So crazy.
I don't get it. Yeah, because now they tell you like, oh yeah, have B12 or drink lots of water beforehand, during, 1 glass of water for every drink to keep the hangover away. But like, if anything, maybe that's what's making the hangovers worse. So I'm trying to fight them.
Yeah. Maybe if we just like gaslight ourselves, like I'm just not gonna be hungover.
That's actually what I was about to get to. Maybe it's all psychosomatic.
I mean, I kind of feel like when I was like in high school, sorry mom, hangovers weren't even a thing I was thinking about. Like it was like maybe we're just psyching ourselves out. Like, oh, I'm gonna be so hungover tomorrow.
Yeah, being like, oh my gosh, I just switched from like liquor to beer, or I just switched from like clear liquor to brown liquor. I'm gonna be so hungover in the morning.
Huh.
You have to like psych yourself up.
Yeah.
Remember when you were 19, running around, you were like, I don't get hangovers.
Yeah.
Like maybe we have to bring that back.
Yeah, literally.
We
Like
have to become like insufferable.
just delusional.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's crazy. So you moved to Yosemite. You're living there full time.
So I just actually moved from Yosemite to Mammoth. So it's I went from the west side of the mountains to the east side of the mountains, but yeah. So I did live a year in Yosemite Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was just wondering in general, because you're surrounded by wilderness, what are some, if any, like crazy stories you have from that experience?
Rodents. It's not really a shock to people that there are like rodents in the woods.
Of course.
If you live in a cabin in the woods, chances are there's gonna be mice around. But there were like rats where I worked, like big fucking rats.
Like how big?
I mean, like I think the largest one I ever saw had to be like at least that long.
So like small house cat.
Yeah, for sure. And they're not like timid, like come out at night only and like peek around.
Yeah.
No, they
They
like
have no fear.
No fear at all, and they're really, really intelligent. People don't know this. I actually came to respect rats a lot just because
Dueling with them.
From dueling with them, yeah. And being thwarted and being beat. And they're terrible, terrible things. Do you know they're incontinent?
What does that mean?
It means that they piss and shit on everything they touch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it means that they like don't control that. They just like go.
Yeah.
And so like they're just going constantly.
And they're just covered in it.
And they're just covered in it all the time.
Yeah.
And they leave like an oily grease on things that they touch a lot.
Like a snail.
Like a snail almost. Yeah. They
But it's piss and shit.
yeah, real rat snail trails made of piss and shit. Yeah, exactly. And so they're like touching everything. I mean, they're touching the tables, the silverware. They're touching like glasses, and you're just constantly having to like clean shit like it's a biohazard scene.
So you were working in a restaurant filled with rats.
Filled with rats.
I mean,
a hotel filled with rats. Yeah.
How many do you think?
Oh, I mean like dozens.
Oh, wow.
Dozens of dozens.
Colony.
Yeah, like what they call a mild to severe infestation. Yeah.
Wow. And
yeah.
how long was this hotel like up and running while also having rat residents?
I mean, its whole history, 97 years. But here's what's crazy.
Okay.
So the rats have always been a problem. You're always going to have rats in places like that. That's what I said. But they used to have like a lot more just like based ways of dealing with them. They used to throw like rattlesnakes in the crawl spaces.
That's insane.
And they would have like people that were actual like rat catchers
Yeah.
that would go around with their like fucking like clubs and traps and like cats and shit like that in the middle of the night and be like hunting them and like catching them and shit. And like we don't do that shit anymore. Now we hire like a company that's contracted by another company to come out and like set a trap and then like all that stuff. And it doesn't work.
Right.
They're too smart. They're too fast.
Yeah.
They, rats will like.
I mean, this is generations of rats building up. Like, only the smart ones survive.
And the smart ones get smart real fast.
Yeah.
If a rat sees another rat get caught in a trap, it will never go near a trap ever again. But it will get other rats young to come with it and send them into the traps to set off the traps. That's it's like 100% real.
It's like mine clearing or something like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Actually. And the big scare there is something that's called hantavirus. I don't know if you know what hantavirus is.
It's a rat transmitted.
Right. It's a potentially deadly virus that's transmitted specifically by the urine and feces of the deer mouse, which there was an outbreak of the hantavirus in Yosemite Valley back in like 2011 or 2013.
What is the?
Oh, it's like all the worst things. Like you have a fever and you're like diarrhea, puking, and just like pain everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just like it's just terrible. But what people don't know is that rats don't carry hantavirus. They can. They physically can.
But they can't transmit it.
But they just don't. It's similar to say like humans can carry the bubonic plague. But we don't. We just don't. It's
not common.
It's not common. Yeah, exactly. Can you catch some other nasty shit from rat piss and shit? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you're not going to catch hantavirus, and that's what people are worried about.
Huh. That's so interesting. Do you have anything else you want to say about
Yosemite Valley
or the rat motel?
In a way, it's like a 1,000,000-acre museum. It's the whole point of this whole thing, including the buildings in it, is to preserve them, is to allow people to come and see them. And what sucks is that like our presence there is making it worse. We aren't helping any of this. The rats aren't there just because they are. They're there because we are there, because we bring food there, because we bring too much trash there, and there's too much trash to be taken out, and so the dumpsters overflow, and then the rats feast, and then the rats multiply. Yeah. And so there's something to be said for the fact that right down to the hotels themselves, that entire ecosystem is suffering from our presence for our experience. Yeah.
That's really interesting and kind of sad. But
it is.
So I'm going to be so honest with you. Why does anyone go camping? It will never...
What do you mean?
I have no idea. It makes no sense to me. It's like, what if we took all of the good things and conveniences out of life?
Isn't that all that humans did for like the first like million years?
And then we evolved. You know what I mean? Like, we built these things because we like them, right? Running water, toilet, that's pretty cool.
Overrated.
Electricity, a phone, being able to talk to all my friends whenever I want. Like, that's pretty cool. And like, decent food.
You don't like dehydrated beef stroganoff?
Like, the best camping food, if you served it to me in a restaurant, I would send it back immediately.
That's fair, though. That's fair. Yeah, no, I mean, the funny thing about the food is that like the food tastes so much better because you're camping. It's because you're like hungry, you've been walking forever.
Yeah.
Like that's typically a part of camping. There's a lot of walking,
yeah,
hiking.
with no showers.
Yeah, with no showers. Yeah. And then you finally get to eat and you're like, I don't care what this is. It's amazing because my body is like desperate for nourishment and this is all I'm giving it.
It's just like cosplaying homelessness. like, you know what I mean? Like
Low key, but camping it's about living intentionally.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. Every single thing that you do is very intentional. It's never about like, what am I going to do now? It's like, these are the things that I need to do to ensure my like comfort, my safety, like things like that.
Yeah.
And then like once you have secured all those things, then you have like what is more free time than I think anything else is, because no one else can ask anything of it. And I think that's what's so nice about it, is like no one can say like this is what you're supposed to be doing in your free time while you're camping. You can literally sit there and do nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like you're doing something.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Oh man, you do a good job of selling it. I won't lie.
You should try it sometime, man. Also,
I have.
Oh, okay.
I've been
okay,
camping.
Okay.
And like, if I'm being so honest, like, it was nice. Like, it's nice. It's nice, but it's never my first choice.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
if all my friends are like, oh, we should all plan a trip, I would never be like, let's do it away from the good stuff. Like, that's just crazy to me.
What's funny is like when you go camping with people who truly aren't down with the camping lifestyle. When you're camping with someone who's like, we're out of beers. I'm gonna have to hike 3 miles back to the car so that I can drive to the store to get beers to carry them 3 miles back into the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see your point, because on a certain level, it's like I'm just gonna go be less comfortable for the weekend.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna sleep worse. I'm gonna not be able to stay up late because there's nothing to do once it gets dark.
Yeah.
You know.
And you're going to be forced to get up early with the sun.
Yep, and yeah, exactly. And it's going to be kind of scary because you have a thin sheet of nylon between you and the world while
Plus
you sleep.
the bugs. That's the kicker for me, dude. Like, I get eaten up by, like, everything. Swear to God.
Just mosquitoes, ticks.
Even, like, spiders,
leeches.
dude. Like,
Spiders.
it is bad. The bugs is what really gets me. But, yeah, I don't know. Coming back to your point of, like, the total freedom and the no one's telling you to do anything, like, I think I understand. You could say the exact same thing about the guy on the side of the road. Like, he also has ultimate autonomy. He also could sit there and do nothing. He also has to ensure his safety every single night. Like,
he is living very intentionally.
Yeah, he simply must. Like, he's like, where can I get my next bag of meth? No,
because otherwise I will die from withdrawals. Well, also, like, I feel like there's no place that wants to discourage you from liking camping more than living in LA.
Yeah.
There's nothing like living in LA to make the experience of sleeping in a tent seem like a fucking nightmare. Yeah. It seemed like the worst thing that could ever happen to you.
Yeah.
You're
no,
like,
actually.
Yeah.
Because, like, cities of tents in LA. Like,
literal cities of tents.
Yeah.
You drive past a campground when you're from LA and you just see all the tents going up and
PTSD.
You lock your car. You lock the doors.
That's actually true. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I never thought about that. Maybe living in LA has jaded me a little bit as well.
Well, and that's why people that live in cities hate camping. Like LA has more of a camping vibe than a lot of cities, I think. And that's because I think out west that's normal, but like most city people camp less. It's like suburb people that go camping a lot. It's because they don't see homeless people.
That's true. Did we just unlock something? I feel like this tangent has never been.
I don't know if anyone's ever talked about this before. Yeah, I think we're connecting some really important stuff here.
So you have a girlfriend.
I do.
But before having a girlfriend, you used to use Hinge.
Of course.
I've recently had an issue on Hinge. I set my Hinge to non-binary because I wanted to match with goth baddies. But I just got a bunch of penises.
Correct. Yeah, no, we've all tried that.
Is that an offensive thing to even say?
I mean, no. As a bisexual man, I have to say, you don't get the penises that you want.
Yeah.
You're not getting the non-binary penises.
Yeah.
You're not getting the goth baddie penises.
Yeah.
You're getting the guys also looking for the non-binary penises.
And they're just like settling for me because I guess I have like a mullet or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'm close enough to a woman.
No, exactly. I'm getting those pictures because I'm clean shaven all my pictures. Like, yeah, exactly. And they're like, yeah, I can see it.
It's tough, dude. It's tough out here being a clean boy on non-binary dating apps. And I'm gonna be so honest. Like I'm straight. Like I like women. I just threw on the non-binary thing because like goth baddies. Who knows? Maybe, right?
Nothing like a non-binary goth baddie to like put your sexuality in its place.
Right?
To being like it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, totally. That's what I'm saying. But follow-up question, I was wondering, is it queer if I'm willing to date non-binary people, but only if they have a vagina?
I mean, it's like literally queer. It's queer in its essence.
Yeah.
Does it mean that you are bisexual? I don't know. I don't think so. I wouldn't say so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's part of like sort of like the uncharted waters that we're branching into now that we have things like dating apps with like non-binary settings.
Yeah. I'm entering the Bermuda Triangle of non-binary dating and
Yeah.
Latina goth baddies and
Go deeper. Like, figure it out.
Okay.
Like,
I mean, what's deeper than non-binary? Just turning on men? Like, I don't think it doesn't get much deeper than just going on Grindr.
I was about to say, yeah, at that point, just download Grindr. Yeah, exactly. I think that's the trick, is that everyone's looking for where the hot non-binary goth baddies are on dating apps. Is it Hinge? Is it Grindr?
Yeah.
Is it like one of the other millions out there?
There's so many.
And the answer is that on every single one of them,
They're not looking for me.
No, and they're also, the only people on there are the same guy's dicks.
Yes,
It's
yes.
the same dicks.
Though I will say, one thing I did gain empathy for in this experience was women, because unsolicited dick pics are crazy work. Like,
Crazy work.
Diabolical. Like, we matched on an app, I haven't even said hello.
And it's just like,
And oftentimes it's unimpressive.
well,
And it's like, what are we doing? Like,
and a lot of times I'm like, you didn't take this picture for me. You had this one.
yeah.
You
I don't
pulled
even
this
feel
from the roll.
special. Yeah. And I wonder, like, do you think it's ever worked? Like, these guys are doing it for a reason. Like, do you think they've sent it before to a woman? And they're like, you know what? Fuck it. Like,
And they're like, all right, he has a penis.
yeah, like,
I wasn't sure, but I will say that if we were to find out that every guy that's out there who's sending unsolicited dick pics is just like suffering from some kind of like neurodivergence, there's something terribly offensive there. There's also something that's kind of maybe true.
True, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, dude, I mean, where's your empathy?
Where's the part of you that's like, they don't want this.
No.
They don't want to look at this.
And it's like, you've probably done it 30 other times, and how many of them wanted it?
That's kind of the part that I don't get, is like, what are they getting from it? Are they like all like have that like kind of like flasher thing? Like they get off on like showing their penis to people?
Maybe.
Or do they think it's going to go somewhere? Or why do they think it's going to work? I don't know.
Penis flashers out there. There's got to be at least one of them who follows me.
At least
I know my audience. Explain yourself. Has it worked? Am I missing out? Is this Riz guys, or are you just like
I was about to say, are we doing it wrong?
extremely low social intelligence? Like, I don't know. It's one or the other, or maybe it's both.
I mean, I do not support revenge porn. I do not think revenge porn is like.
I don't even know what that is.
You don't know what revenge porn is?
Like posting.
It's like posting someone's nudes to like their detriment.
Okay.
Yeah,
I understand.
like kind of like doxing someone's
Yeah,
nudes,
yeah.
you know?
Okay.
I think that maybe there's something to the fact that if you are like a serial dick pic sender, like unsolicited dick pics.
Yeah.
Let's be clear, unsolicited.
I mean, that's sexual harassment. Let's be so honest.
It is like clear sexual harassment.
Yeah.
Like borderline like sexual assault. If like assault on social media can happen,
Yeah.
then like
It's
then
insane.
it is absolutely sexual
Yeah.
assault. So like, I don't know, if you're sending out unsolicited dick pics, you deserve to like have your dick pics blasted.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Valid.
You deserve to have every single person see your penis and
Yeah.
like have every
But that's probably what
person-
they want. We're
Good
playing
point.
into their
Yeah.
game.
Oh my God,
We can't
you're
win.
absolutely right. They've thought of everything. I don't get why people value virginity. I genuinely think that like, if I find out that someone I'm about to have sex with is a virgin, I do not want to have sex with them anymore.
At the very least, I'm terrified.
Right,
That's
exactly.
so much pressure.
It's so much pressure, and also like, it's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to be good. When you hear about, like, those couples where, like, they were each other's firsts and then they, like, get married.
Or saving yourself for marriage.
Or they save themselves for
God.
marriage. And then, like, that person is the only person they've had sex with. The only thing that I can think about is that they are having the worst sex of all time.
All time.
With no checks and balances.
Yeah.
And no one's stopping them.
That's so true. That's interesting, because those people probably aren't watching porn either.
Or they are, in which case, like...
That's all they know.
That's all they know, is then, like, porn sex.
No, that's a good point, because I feel like sex is kind of like a learned skill. Like, I've
It
been working
absolutely
at this
is.
shit for a minute, and I've had multiple partners,
Yeah.
and still don't think I'm that good. So, like, if you did it with your first partner, or if you're, God forbid, saving yourself for marriage, like, that is a gamble.
That's saying, I don't know who's out there. I don't know who it's going to be. I'm going to give someone, like, the worst wedding night imaginable.
I wonder...
I'm about to use teeth and a blowjob on my wedding night. I don't believe in the concept of, like, being, like, ran through. If you meet a partner who's had a bunch of sexual partners,
Yeah.
they're not ran through. They're done running.
They're tired.
Yeah, exactly. I've done it all. I've seen it all. I'm tired.
And they're choosing you.
And
it's kind of an
you.
honor.
It is, yeah, exactly. Let's talk about stats here. Going 1 for 1, whatever.
Yeah.
But going like 90 for 100,
Yeah.
That's a stat.
Yeah, if the person who you've slept with has slept with 99 other people and they chose you,
And they chose you.
that's pretty chill.
Exactly. You're the best out of 100.
I'm not going to call out any particular religions, but there are multiple religions that like promise in the afterlife. Mini virgins.
Right.
That sounds terrible.
Right.
Like that just
Like no one knows what they're doing.
no one knows what they're doing and
72 people who need to be like coached emotionally through every single thing that you do.
well, and like I'm at risk of teeth, like you said, or like
absolutely.
if like friction, like
Exactly.
Also, it's just like an age thing because if I die at like 80, I don't want to fuck like 30 18-year-olds. Like
I'm
that's
like, oh my
insane.
God,
That sounds
no.
terrible.
No.
Nothing about that sounds appealing to me.
Can I have my wife, who I spent like 45 years like refining this craft with?
Yeah.
Like, I finally found someone who's like willing to like meet my minimal and maximum effort levels. Like,
It is so interesting though, like large groups of people who feel very strongly about their belief systems value virginity that much that they will die for it.
absolutely. I think that like it's this historical pattern of commodifying women
Yeah.
for sexual purposes and owning the virginity of someone in a lot of like old style cultures like that is just as important as owning the person themselves.
Huh. Well, a very philosophical and intellectual turn that we've taken here at the end, but it's really fascinating stuff. Great, man. Well, is there anything else you wanted to say about that? Anything else you wanted to say in general? Where can they find you?
I mean, you can find me on Instagram, Alexander J. Taylor. You know,
Check out the movie.
Check out the movie. Check out 27. All the people who have seen it so far, all the industry professionals it's been shown to, are saying really good things about it. So
Great. Well, thank you so much, and thank you guys.